Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the 1980 comedy parody movie classic Airplane. And this movie, guys, I was really looking forward to this movie because I've heard from many people that this is the single greatest parody movie of all time. It is the funniest parody movie. It's the one that when people think about parody movies nowadays and how they're not as good anymore, they always compare it to Airplane. They always compare it to Airplane or The Naked Gun or something like that. And I was really looking forward to it. I heard it was a really funny movie. So I checked out Airplane, and you know why I checked this movie out? One, because I've been reviewing a lot of dramas. I wanted to review a comedy because I felt like I was just reviewing dramas, and I didn't want you guys to think that's all I'm watching. I wanted to, have a little something for everyone. So I decided to watch Airplane. And overall, what I think of Airplane, I love this movie. Oh my god. This is probably my favorite parody movie of all time. I've not laughed this hard since the first Scary Movie. Just so funny. Absolutely love this movie. Everyone who says it's a classic, it absolutely is a classic. So many great lines in this movie, so many quotable scenes in this movie, so many memorable scenes in this movie. Oh my god, just such a funny movie. I absolutely loved it. And the plot of Airplane, basically, the plot is silly. The plot's ridiculous. It's a silly movie, so it doesn't really have much of a plot. Basically, you have this ex-pilot, Ted, who he has become traumatized during an unnamed war, and basically, his girlfriend breaks up with him in the beginning of the movie, and she's now a flight attendant, and he is on this plane, going to Chicago, and he is trying to win her back, basically. And along the meantime, the plane starts to spin out of control, and that's basically the plot of Airplane. It's kind of just like a satire of old Airplane movies. Now, when Airplane was originally made, Airplane was supposed to be a movie to parody the cheesy Airplane. I guess in the 1960s and the 1970s, airplane disaster movies were very, very popular then. So this movie decided to parody all of those really cheesy disaster movies, and really took it to the extreme with this movie. Also, Airplane was essentially the very first parody movie that there was. I mean, without this movie, there'd be no Naked Gun, there'd be no Scary Movie. And, I mean, this movie really takes a lot of credit for that. You can definitely tell they did a really great job with that, and that's really great about this movie. Let's get to the acting in this movie. I have a feeling it's going to be a short review, by the way, guys, because really this movie is just a silly movie, and I'll talk about scenes I like, but let's first get to the acting. For a parody movie, this movie has great acting. Oh my god, everyone is so funny here. Robert Hayes as Ted, I thought he was very, very funny. He was very good at trying to make us feel emotional for him, but of course it's then a parody movie, so they ruined it somehow. I thought that was very, very funny. There's this one scene where he's trying to fly the plane, and he's just constantly, it's towards the end of the movie, he's constantly sweating. It was so funny to watch. He did a really great job in the movie. I thought it was very, very funny, and just really, really funny. Julia Hargerty as his love interest Elaine. She was so over the top, overly cheesy, and overly acting that it was so funny. I think that's why she was so funny, because she was so over the top. Everything she said it in this sort of voice like this. And it was really funny to watch, because everything she said, she literally said it like that. And she had some really funny stuff to do in this movie. And I really love, the other thing about this movie that I love, which I'll get to, but she did a really great job, and I thought she was hilarious. By far, the funniest actor in this movie, I think, though, was Leslie Nielsen. I mean, he's the guy that makes these movies. He made Airplane, he did Naked Gun, he made all those great parody movies in the 80s, and that's what he's most known for, are these parody movies. I mean, rest in peace, Leslie Nielsen, because, I mean, you were amazing. He really was amazing. I thought he did a really, really great job in this movie. He had some really fun, and what I love about, him, and basically everyone else in this movie, is they don't make it seem funny. They don't. They don't say the lines in a funny way or anything. It's just, the scene is funny. The scene is funny. It's not so much, the acting, it's not so much how they're saying the words, it's the scene that's funny, and I thought that's really cool, actually, because, there's no one in this movie that is actually, trying to make you laugh. It is very, very subtle, and that's what's really great about this movie, is how subtle it is. it's not really the way they say it in the movie. It's more of what you think it's funny, and I think that's kind of good, because it's kind of a sort of thing of what works and what doesn't work, and that works very well with this movie, because everything works with this movie, and I think that gimmick worked very, very well. So yeah, there are other actors in there, but let's get to the best part of this movie. Of course, the laughs. Oh my god, so many funny things in this movie. One of the things I love about this movie is, as I said, just something as silly as having a character named Captain Over, and then having, the other guy, Roger. That was hilarious, because, the two common words on a plane are over and Roger. And I think that's hilarious, because it's just, like, I don't know, very, very funny. It seems stupid, it really does, but it's funny when you watch the movie, and they do a really good job of doing that. That definitely was one of the scenes that stuck with me. There's also this scene where there's a flashback scene, and basically Ted is talking to Elaine about the recent effects of PTSD on some of them, and one of them has made this girl think she's Ethel Merman. Oh my god, that was such a great portrayal of Ethel Merman. She was so funny. That was really funny. I thought that was hilarious. The old woman in the movie, by the way, is very, very funny. That was really great. The other thing that I really liked about this movie, the other really funny scene, of course, is that scene with the funniest part of this movie. I think the thing that everyone remembers about this movie is, one, the quote, "Don't call me Shirley." Oh my god, when they say, "Don't call me Shirley," what's so great about it is, as I said, Leslie Nielsen is just so, like, deadpan with this. He doesn't make it sound funny. He literally just says it like, "Alright, don't call me Shirley." That's literally how he says it, but it's so funny, because it's just like, the guy's like, "Surely you don't expect me to fly the plane," and he's like, "Don't call me Shirley." I think that's really funny. I think that was definitely a very funny way of doing that. And by the way, guys, these are all spoilers. These are all really spoilers, because I'm ruining the funniest parts of the movie. If you guys haven't seen it, so yeah. The other really funny scene, of course, is the scene with the fake flight pilot. The other flight pilot. It's just the scene where Elaine had to inflate the pilot, and it looked like she was giving him a blowjob. Hilarious! Oh my god, I laughed hysterically at that scene. That was so funny. Such a funny way of doing that. The last scene with the last scene where Ted is flying the airplane. He's just like, sweat is like dripping from him. That was so funny. I thought that was actually really funny the way they did that. And then there's also one other thing this movie's famous for. The random scene of nudity. There is one random scene of nudity. It's very, very just like really quick, but it's famous for that scene because you just don't expect that from this movie. You don't expect it, and I think that's why all the parody movies now are so very, very raunchy, because now it's the 2000s, they go from that, and they've made it very, very raunchy. And honestly, I think it's better when it's not so raunchy. I'm not saying I don't love scary. I love Scary Movie. I love Scary Movie. I have no problem with Scary Movie. I'm saying things like the ones they make nowadays that aren't very funny. Stuff like this is very, very well done, because literally the passengers are just screaming, and all of a sudden a woman runs across the screen with no shirt on. It was very, very funny to watch, and it's just like, okay, then I wasn't expecting that, but I thought that was very funny. And the other funny thing about this movie is, of course, the cockpit scene where the little boy's like, "I want to go in the cockpit," and the cockpit turns out to be child pedophilia. I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny. I just thought that was a funny scene, the way they did that. I enjoyed that scene overall, and I think they did a good job of showing that scene. That was definitely really funny. The movie's also very short. It's not, like, too long or anything. It's very, very short. It's only, like, 87 minutes, actually. So, yeah, it's very, very short, not really long or anything. This movie also got nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture. So yeah, it was very, very popular, and it spawned a sequel, actually, which I don't think many people speak of, because I don't think it's very good or anything. So yeah, it did spawn a sequel, but apparently it was terrible. It wasn't very good at all. I don't really know what people thought of the sequel. No one really loved the sequel as much as the first one, but the first one, is a classic. and it's just such a great movie, and you guys definitely need to check it out. This movie has even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and there's this really funny scene where this guy's like, hey, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's like, no, you haven't been, they're basically breaking the fourth wall in this movie. That's a common thing with parody movies now. This movie started that as well. Again, this movie started all of the parody movie franchise, basically, because, there's been so many after this, and I think this really is the funniest one I've seen. It just is so funny because it's the original. It's the original one that started it all. It's the one that made me laugh the most, and it just works so well. So yeah, I think that's why I love this movie so much. So yeah, that's it for my review of Airplane. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. Very funny movie, in my opinion. Probably one of my favorite comedies. That's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in another classic movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.